Welcome to another episode of Fuck Your Job. I'm Ron Worley.
And I'm Josh Fullenweider.
Fuck your job.
Welcome to Fuck Your Job. I'm Josh Fullenweider.
I'm Ron Worley.
And we're up to episode number 5, if I can count right.
5 is right, Josh.
All right, so today we're going to be talking about real estate holding companies. And for this, we're sitting in our beautiful spec home that we're getting ready to sell here in just a couple days. By the time this comes out, it'll be sold. We've had it for a little over a year now. So.
Yep.
But we want to talk to you kind of about all the things that go into buying either a piece of land, some sort of real estate, a house, whether it be for a rental, spec home, whatever that is. So.
And let's define what real estate holding company is real quick. What is it in your eyes? What do you call that?
So
what is it?
For me, a real estate holding company is just an entity that holds real estate. You don't have employees in it.
Yep.
You don't have payroll. You don't have other things in it. You don't have a car that's titled in it. This is just a company whose sole purpose is to own a piece of real estate.
Right. And so the benefit to having a real estate holding company, not to own one, but for a customer, our customer, the benefit is they don't have to come up with a whole bunch of money down, right?
Correct.
So if they want to buy a house, they can essentially buy the house for as little as earnest money. We're fronting the money to build the house. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's it.
That's simple, folks. If you want to build a spec home and sell it, we know how to do it.
Yeah. Let's pause 1 second.
Okay.
I want to turn this and make sure we can stay in focus.
There you go. Oh, that helps a lot.
Yeah, that way we're not like, ah!
Yeah. Where are we?
I didn't even realize that the first 4 episodes.
All right, and action.
We're going to hit it again. We're back to it here.
Right.
So we talked a little bit about what a real estate holding company is. What can you do with a real estate holding company?
That's a good question. So far, we've only built a spec home with it, but you can get commercial on this thing. You can, and I've seen real estate holding companies lend out or lease out properties in the commercial game, but also they're a helpful antidote to a builder who needs work. Finish that because there's lots of applications.
So I own 5 or 6 different holding companies, real estate holding companies. For a while, I was trying to set up a new LLC for each piece of real estate I owned. And that got really cumbersome at tax time so I still own multiple places. Usually for my personal cutoff is whenever a property reaches about $200,000, I like to have it in its own LLC. No rhyme or reason, just I figure if that LLC gets sued for whatever reason, I can afford to lose a $200,000 property and not my entire portfolio of properties. What I'm moving towards now is a master real estate holding company with sub LLCs.
Yeah, I remember you telling David from Alaska on that one about that, and that's a good strategy. It's a good way to protect yourself. So if one of your businesses gets sued, the other ones will not. Correct? Yeah.
So, and the strategy there's a lot of expenses that are shared across properties. So when I go go to the bank, I'm going to make deposits for all my entities, not just one.
Right.
So that expense goes up top, and then below it are the individual properties' bills. So
right, and so they expense separately. It's so much easier on your accountant.
And when it gets there, it should be easier when it comes to tax time.
Sure.
Because we should just have to file at the tax level up here versus 5 other smaller entities.
Right.
So
smart. This guy's smart.
a bank customer taught me that one. So.
Okay. So get into the banking world. Pay attention. That's right. You can learn a lot of this online too. Doing your research and your book smarts and getting out there and reading about it.
Yep.
All right. So what's our first step when we are going to be a real estate holding company? Let's say we've already got our company, our LLC is built. We're ready. Do you want to go there first?
I think we need to back up and say you've got your first step is forming a company as your holding company. And that can be an LLC, corporation, S Corp, limited partnership even. You can form there's a bunch of different companies out there.
Yep.
If you're doing a purposely for either taxes or not insurance purposes, but asset protection purposes, I would not do it in your own individual name.
Right.
So.
And we did, you and I, we did a partnership, LLC partnership under our pseudo corporate names.
Yes.
And so we don't even own the company. Our companies own the company.
Correct.
Right.
Yes.
Smart.
But that was what I was talking about before with the top company and lower companies.
Right.
So yeah, that I think is step one. Go online. Most states allow you to file corporate documents online.
Yep.
$50 in Colorado, you can pick an LLC, find a name, file. Then you go out, you get your EIN from the federal government. You're in business. That's an LLC.
He's really smart and he does it that way. I actually just call my lawyer and tell him my name and they go do it all for me. And
Okay. All right.
but that costs $750 every time. So
Mine costs 50.
right. It's like I said, he's a frugal sumbitch. So I like that, but I just am not smart enough to do it.
Well, so with me, for the majority of my LLCs, they're owned by myself and one other family member.
Sure.
So we don't need as complicated of organizational documents. I got most of mine online, just downloaded it, filled it out, changed what I didn't like.
Yep.
Hopefully my mom never sues me or my wife never sues me, but we'll see.
Your wife might.
My wife might be like, I don't know what the hell you're doing. You can knock it off. But anyway.
Okay, so we've got our company. Now what do we do?
Well, find a place to buy, I guess. That would be my thought. What's your thought?
Yeah, so like, well, are we gonna own commercial? Are we gonna own residential? Are we gonna own rentals? Are we gonna own land?
Yeah.
What is our direction? What is our end goal? So, for us, it was more of a short-term project. We didn't want to lease for 10 years on something. We wanted to get in, get out. And for us, it was a learning thing. We wanted to learn how to do this and also maybe make a little bit of money at it too. And by little, I mean little.
Little in Ron's eyes, it's acceptable for me.
So we figured out we're roughly going to make somewhere between 12 and 15% on our money. Is that right? Somewhere around there?
I think around 15%.
Around 15%. That's a very admirable investment, honestly.
I think that's pretty good.
Yeah, and if you're doing that times 10,
yeah,
it's really good.
Yeah, this could be, if we did this on scale, like you said, and did 10 properties a year, I wouldn't have cause to do a whole lot else.
Right.
A little expensive to do 10 at a time.
Right, yes.
A lot of risk.
So the only risk is that your money's tied up and that your house might not sell.
Correct.
Right? And right now in this market in Colorado, everything sells eventually. We didn't really worry about that, but our money's been tied up for a year.
Yes.
There is the danger zone. If you need that money in a year, you're not going to get it.
Oh, and I could have done 1,000 other things with that money in the last year.
Right.
So that was a little not disappointing, but that's the word I'm going to use. Disappointing at times was, hey, there's all that money sitting over there and a piece of dirt that hopefully I'll get it back.
So are we going to be honest with these folks about how much money we spent, how much?
I think so.
Okay.
I mean, if they're curious, I don't have any money.
Yeah.
Telling them.
So I think it's real simple. Our sale price is $550,000. Okay. We went out right away. Number one thing we did was we decided we're going to do residential. Josh found a builder that he was working with. Happens to be my parents' old neighbor, Dennis Hicks, Dennis King, with King Family Builders, and he's a great builder. He builds a fantastic house with lots of detail and high-end upgrades.
Yeah, he's not building your entry-level homes. He's building either a second home that you're moved into or higher.
Right.
This right here I would classify as more of a retirement home. Most of the home is all on one level.
Yep.
It's away from the rest of the world.
Yeah, and that was the other part of it, right? We needed a place to be able to sell a high-end home. We were looking at Wiggins first.
Yes.
And it turns out that Wiggins really just couldn't support, amongst all the other things out there, Wiggins didn't have any amenities. It couldn't support a $500,000 home.
No.
So we weren't going to make any money if we went out to Wiggins.
And that's where we started looking at it, and we kind of decided on where we wanted to build based on all the costs that went into it.
Sure.
So we ran all of our we found a piece of property in Wiggins, and we ran our budget and realized we weren't going to make money. So then it was like, well, we've got all the numbers. Where can we do this and make money at it?
Right.
You know, and then it was just kind of fitting all the puzzle pieces together.
Yeah, and we ended up out here in Platteville, off of Road 39 and change, like 39 and
Pelican Lake Ranch.
Pelican Lakes Ranch. And what we noticed right away was that they have amenities out here. Not the kind of amenities to buy groceries, but they have fishing and swimming and tennis and a clubhouse and
horse trails.
Horse trails.
These are all horse
huge.
Properties out here.
Correct. In fact, it's hard not to find a horse property out here. They have corrals for your horses. There's just lots of things to do so that you could build sort of a mini ranch out here.
Yeah.
Everything's on a minimum of 2.2 acres or 2
Correct.
acres.
Yep.
So a little bit of land with that, which everybody's looking for now. So now all of a sudden you're not just buying a house for $550,000.
You're buying a lifestyle.
You're buying a lifestyle. That's correct.
And that's what really made the difference. So,
right. And nobody's complained once about our price out here.
Yeah.
And we're about $100,000 above everybody else out here.
Yeah, when we came out here, I think most of the homes were selling for $450,000 to $475,000.
Yeah.
That was in February of 2019.
Yep.
We looked at it. We got an appraisal. You can get an appraisal on a property before the house is built. It's called an as-complete appraisal. So we gave them our plans, which Dennis helped us draw up and everything like that. Once we gave them the plans, the appraiser came and said, okay, based on the plans, we think it'll sell for. They actually told us $515,000, and we said, you're wrong.
Yeah.
It's going to sell for $550,000.
Right. We're going to push this sumbitch.
And there's the thing. Dennis is a very high-end builder, and on a set of plans, you don't get the attention to detail that you would get. The builder looked at it and said, okay, this is what this home is worth. They didn't know that Dennis was going to come out and do 2x6s in all the exterior walls versus 2x4s. So it's a little bit quieter inside. It's warmer in the wintertime, cooler in the summertime. Little things, the way the siding is not wood siding, it's concrete plank siding. So all those things factor in.
The rock wall out front.
Yes.
And another one that I just learned this working with Dennis, a double-sided fireplace is very expensive compared to just a single fireplace or even no fireplace. So those things you won't find in a regular home. Mm-hmm. Not in town, not in a regular home. A lot of times that's an extra.
Yeah.
That's included in our homes. So I think we need to back up. You got our viewers.
I went way far ahead.
Our viewers have asked us to do kind of a 1, 2, 3 scenario on things. They're sick of us blabbing all the damn time. So
you found your place.
Okay, found our place.
Now that you found your place, I think the next step is find plans and builder.
Okay.
Is that kind of?
Yep, I am right there with you. Plans and builder, and we had to have somebody engineer our plans. Mm-hmm. We ended up with the builder's plans.
We ended up with Dennis's plans.
Yep.
So he took his own architectural plans, took them to an engineer.
Yep.
We used RMG Engineering, I know because I paid it.
Yep.
So they did a great job. They took all the difference between an architect and an engineer is the architect comes up with the idea. The engineer goes, okay, well, here's where all the electrical is going to go. This meets code. You've got to change this to meet code. So they take the architect's idea and turn it into something that a contractor can take and build on.
Yep. And how much did that cost us?
The architect, when we started with the first one, the architect was about $700.
Yep.
And he was on the low end. The engineering probably cost another $1,000, $1,200, somewhere in there.
That wasn't bad.
It wasn't bad. It was pretty quick process. So
yeah, once we found the right one.
Yes.
So and then we ended up with the builder's plans.
Yeah.
And we didn't have to do any of that.
Yeah.
So if you can use the builder's plans, he's already paid for
we
that.
still had to do the engineering, most of the engineering.
Sure.
Because they do make sure that what you're building on, the foundation is suitable for the area.
Right. Soil testing.
Not part of the engineering, but a different test that we did have to pay for.
Okay.
So that all goes into it. Once you start down the engineering path.
He did all that part.
Once you start down the engineering path, the engineer will start telling you, well, you need this, 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 and this. So.
Gotcha. So I think it's important to understand our relationship in this and why Josh and I teamed up is because Josh had all those things in his bag and I had the sales and Well, the sales.
The sales
Part.
and finding finding properties and
Comparisons, yeah.
I wouldn't call it just sales because you've done a lot. I mean, sales is a big chunk, but
Well,
you've
it
done a
is,
lot.
and to come out here, I mean, we're 20 minutes away from our area of work and live, more for you. And I mean, I've been out here twice a week for the last year, so.
That's about what I've been about once a week.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So it is what it is, and we get phone calls, but for me, it was my pleasure. So, anyways.
Hey, Jobless Legion. We decided to split up our conversation on building a spec house, so catch the rest of it next week.
Join us on Facebook at the Jobless Legion, or subscribe to our YouTube channel, and like, comment, and share.
So that we can get the message out to aspiring entrepreneurs just like you.
Thank you.
Fuck your job.